Hey there, Savannah Abney here with Breezy, and today we are talking about content that people connect with and creating that kind of content. So, everyone wants to create content that people connect with. Obviously, that's what leads to engagement. That's what leads to an increase in followership on social. It's what leads to people actually wanting to read your blog and then do something with that content and maybe even become a lead for you and convert into a sale. So how do we actually create content that people connect with in a way that actually makes them want to progress forward in a buyer's journey? So there's kind of three parts to this for us. And so there's three questions that I would have you ask yourself. And that is, who are your people? How can you help them? And what styles of content are you finding success with over time? So first things first, this may seem very intuitive and kind of like a duh when it comes to marketing and business, but asking the question, who are your people? That's a larger kind of business and marketing question. Who are your key audiences, your personas, the people you're trying to target, your key demographics, all those sorts of things. But you would be amazed the amount of people that I've worked with over the years and have come to us at Breezy and don't really know who they're talking to. And I don't mean just that they don't know who their personas are. Many do, and they know who they want to be their audience and who they want to work with and who they want their customers to be, but they don't actually have a strategic way of speaking to them when it comes to digital content. So what does this specifically sort of look like? Well, for instance, when you have a certain persona, let's say it is men 40 to 60 years old that are really interested in fishing. Where do those people hang out? They're probably not hanging out on LinkedIn to talk about fishing. They might be on Instagram, but that might be a little bit of a stretch because it's a bit of a younger platform. Twitter, maybe, but primarily if those people are kind of learning about anything to do with fishing, it probably is on Facebook for that age demographic. These are things that you have to think about as you focus your content towards certain platforms to hit those certain personas. So if you're looking to hit a certain persona, but you're hitting that on a platform that person doesn't actually spend any time on, it's wasted energy. So we don't just mean who are your people. That's important, obviously, to know who your audience is. That's the very, very beginning of marketing, and knowing who you want to talk to and who you want to work with. But the biggest thing is knowing where those people live. So if you don't know that, if you have your key personas, if you have your audiences, if you know who you want to talk to, but you don't know where those people reside, where they spend their social time, as far as media goes, it's really, really, really worth the investment to do some research, figure out where these people live, where they spend their time online, and really utilizing those channels for those specific personas. And that actually might end up looking different. You might have a really tailored post for one day that goes to Facebook for a very specific persona, and then what you post on LinkedIn that same day could be very, very different, but it's targeted towards that specific audience. This is really, really important. We hear a lot of people say, well, I just want to get out there, I want to put social media out there, I want to put content out there. But content without direction, especially when it comes to the people you're actually speaking to, is going to be wasted time, energy, and resources for you, and you're not going to get the results that you want to see. So it really has to start with the question, who are your people? Where do your people spend their time? And how do we start creating content that directly targets them in those areas and on those platforms? So second question, creating content that people can actually connect with, is how can you help them? So the question always, first and foremost, when it comes to content marketing is, how can I serve? I operate, and Breezy operates with the mentality of 80-20. 80% is value, and about 20% is going to be more sales and more, actually business driven towards, actually getting people to an ask of sorts. This looks different for different industries and different businesses and how they operate, of course. That's just the general rule. So when it comes to creating content, the first question I'm always thinking in my mind is, I actually create content myself, or any of our team creates content. Or if you're doing this internally and on your own, you should be asking, how can you help your audiences right now? And what does each one need? What's a trend that you could walk them through? Obviously, we're in the midst of, we're hopefully beginning to come out of this pandemic, but as we've been in it, there's been a lot of different ways that we can serve a lot of different types of audiences and a lot of different types of people. And thinking about that, how can we help walk people through this season that is really, really difficult in their businesses and their industries? So that's always going to be the first question, is how can I serve? How can I help? What value can I provide? When you provide value over time, it's not just a best practice, like it is a surefire way to get people to buy into what you have to say and what you believe in, because you have continued to provide them free content and free value over time that actually helped them. And so whenever they actually go to buy a product, they're going to remember, oh, hey, that company actually helped me. They actually had a blog post that answered my question, walked me through something. I'm so much more inclined now to buy their product because they provided that value for me. So pretty simple, but that's kind of that second piece of creating content people connect with. And then third, and this is not something you're gonna be able to answer probably right off the bat, this is gonna require some experimentation, just some trial and error, and honestly just time, is what styles of content am I finding success with over time. I always say that you can't even look at social analytics until about 30 days out from doing something. A 30-day sample size begins to show you the picture, but you really need like 30 to 90 days to really see what's happening, because algorithms constantly change. The algorithm's getting smarter and smarter every day, it seems like, and it's changing. So it just takes some consistency and some time to figure out what's working and what's not. But you're gonna find that over time. You're gonna figure out what posts, like, you know that you're gonna post it and you're gonna automatically get a ton of likes rolling in. You know the kind of content that people see it and engage with it quickly, and they know that it's good stuff and it's really valuable for them. So, and what I mean by style of content is not necessarily the actual title of the content or the type, as in, you know, the actual content of the content. What I mean is the actual style of the piece. So are we talking graphics? Are we talking videos? Are we talking infographics? Are we talking blog posts? Are we talking e-guides and downloadables? Depending on your industry and your service or product, your audience, all these things are going to factor into what people like and what you're getting engagement on. So you want to really look at that over time. And then once you've narrowed in on those few pieces of content that did really, really well for you over time, start replicating those like crazy. If you're seeing that people love videos and they watch all your videos and they engage with them, but no one downloads your e-guide, that's a pretty good indicator of what you should be spending your time on and what your people are connecting with, because that's where they live and spend their time. If you're finding over time that you were on like 4 different social platforms, but you're only getting traction on like 2 of them, it might be time to cut the other 2 loose and spend all your time working and focusing on those platforms. So many people think that you need to be on every single social media platform, and while I do think diversity of platform is really important, especially because your audience is probably diverse too in some shape or form, and you need to be hitting them where they live on social media, it's also important not to spread yourself so thin that you're not putting really, really quality content out on each platform and really spending a lot of time there, really living there with your audience too and engaging with them. So that's sort of the idea behind seeing what content's working, seeing what platform's working for you over time. Give it time, experiment, and then see where people are really connecting with you. So who are your people? How can you help them? And what styles of content are you finding success with over time? Those are 3 questions to really, really ask yourself as you work to create content that people connect with. So if you have any questions for us, if you need any help with anything or bounce some ideas off of us, we'd be happy to help. Just shoot us an email at info@breezycontent.com, and we'll see you next time.